what I have planned for.
5:20?
Okay, it's 5:20. Let's call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver.
Here.
Betty Biskie-Mallett.
Yes.
Kristen Haas.
Yes.
Craig Rohrbach. Justin Herder. Richard Merton.
Here?
Linnea Miller.
Here.
Gordon Shallow.
Here.
Charles Fargo.
Here.
The open meeting certification, this December 16th, 2019 meeting of the Mid-State Technical College District Board of Directors and all of the meetings of the board and or its committees is open to the public in compliance with state statutes. Notice of this meeting has been sent to the news media and designated persons in an attempt to make the citizens of Mid-State Technical College District aware of the place, time, and agenda of the meeting. We have an open forum now. Is there anybody here that wants to speak? Okay. If not, adoption of the minutes from the November meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda items, payment of bills, contracted services. That seems to be it.
We
Procurement
reviewed,
of goods and services, I'm sorry.
the items in the Finance Committee meeting, and I'd make a motion that we accept or approve the consent agenda items.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Robert Beaver.
Yes.
Betty Biskie-Mallett.
Yes.
Kristen Haas.
Yes.
Richard Merton.
Yes.
Linnea Miller.
Yes.
Gordon Shallow.
Yes.
Charles Fargo.
Attendance tonight, welcome everybody that is here. Justin was asked to be excused, and we had another board member who had a bit of a crisis to deal with. The Winter Boards Association meeting is in La Crosse at January 16th and 18th. There will be a presentation on institutional research and board member of the year presentation. Anybody's interested in going, let Angie know. ACC Legislative Summit in Washington, D.C., February 9 to 12. And again, for those of you who haven't been and are interested, let Angie know, but it is just an outstanding conference. It just really is interesting. The Spring Board Advance, Angie's going to send out dates to try to get a time set up. The first part of this will be with the foundation board again in terms of professional development. We should try to get as many people there as we can to work with the foundation board as well. So please watch your email for survey dates. The next meeting is Monday, January 20th here in Rapids. Committee meeting is at 4:15. All meetings will begin at 4:15 unless otherwise announced. Committee of the whole at 5 and regular board meeting will begin at 5:20. Are there any additional comments, excuse me? Or I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. What happened to,
So we have no foundation report tonight.
we don't have any foundation report. Okay, Shelley, you're up.
Yeah, so just a few things that I wanted to mention. We've had a number of end of the semester fall activities, as you would guess, such as being in the holiday parade in Stevens Point and in Wisconsin Rapids, which is just a great team camaraderie. I think we mentioned last month that we were going to be in them, so we did accomplish that and had a great time. We also had our Phi Theta Kappa induction ceremony, which is our honor society here. This is, I believe, our fourth time that we've inducted, so we had just over 20 students who came, and it's just a wonderful ceremony. We light candles. It's a celebration of really their academic achievement. And then just yesterday, we had our graduation here at our Wisconsin Rapids campus. It was very well attended. We had over 60 graduates who chose to walk. We did change a few things. We adjusted the way we set up the gym. So rather than kind of walking in and going to your right, you actually kind of walked in and the stage was right in front of you, just to be able to maximize the technology and the seating. And I think it was really well attended. And I don't know, Kristen or Betty, if you have anything to add, but we also, during that ceremony, Jill was very instrumental. We gave out our Distinguished Alumni of the Year award for 2019, and that is Ken Hastreiter. And Ken is the owner of Hastreiter Industries out of the Marshfield area. A 1983, I believe, graduate from our machine tool program who has done some amazing things. So we asked him to also, in addition to receiving his award, we asked him to be our community speaker, which he did an outstanding job. We also had a student speaker, Colin, who is graduating from the machine tool program. And we had Mike Berry, who is our machine tool faculty, give the faculty a farewell. So we really really highlighted machine tool yesterday. But I think it was a great ceremony. I don't know.
It was really great. It was a really good vibe going on in there. I was really happy to be able to present the technical degree to one of my
I
coworkers.
saw that.
So she's
yeah.
also a friend, so that really meant a lot to her today. She talked to me about that today. I really liked the fact that we had the music and everything else. It really felt like a graduation ceremony. I was just proud to be part of it again.
Good. Thank you.
It was
Thank
good.
you.
It was good. And of course, it was well represented with staff and instructors. It's just phenomenal for not being required to attend. It was good. A lot of happy, smiling faces.
And really, it's just a testament to the staff that we have. Many of your
Yes,
executive
they're
leaders
all
were part
there. They were all
of that
there.
graduation committee, though, and there were numerous meetings to make sure that we were ready to go for Sunday. And it was another job well done. So, thank you.
I'm real excited to hear that you talked about having Rob give a budget presentation. For the next graduation. That'll be the highlight for me.
That's right, it will. And
We're going to put it at the end in case anybody walks out.
Rob, I won't let him go to emotion. I won't. So we are excited about that. But it was really a great day. So in addition to kind of those on-site activities, we also had a great community event called Cuts for Kids, which is where we had Santa and Mrs. Claus here, and I believe there were over 140 kids who received a free haircut. Takes a lot of volunteers. It's just a great night. Free food, and we work with a lot of the outside partners to be able to make this event happen. So just need to give kudos to Missy, who's our Dean of Business and Technology. She spearheads it. You walk into the salon, all the students are cutting hair like crazy. I mean, it's just a wonderful event. It just, every year it gets better. So Deb, kudos to your team. Just a great event. In addition to that, we had, and I believe Gordy may talk about it in the committee, but we had our second annual retiree comeback. And I think there's some pictures maybe at your place, and I know Gordon's going to talk about it, so I don't want to take that. But everything that I hoped it would be and then some. You know, we tried it for the first time last year. I think Karen and her team just pulled it off once again. We weren't sure if we were going to do it on an annual basis, but I applaud Karen. She said, you know, let's see it. Let's see if they want to come back again. And we not only had some of the same people come back, which tells you that they had a good time last year, but we had some new people that came as well. So we definitely know they're telling their friends. And so I think, again, over 50 people. And again, you will be able to hear more about it through the committee. This is also a time, though, for some get-togethers and to continue to listen and learn. So we had our board advance, as Bob, you had mentioned. And in addition to that, during the fall semester, I just finished campus conversations, which is a time where I go out. I had 6 different times where I traveled to Stevens Point, into Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids, and sat down with staff for an hour, where people just can come. So I do them in the mornings, I do them in the evenings, and talk about what's on my mind, try to answer any questions, talk about things that are on their mind. It's just a way for me to continue to kind of keep the pulse of the organization. I can tell you that I know definitely I had, oh my goodness, over 125 people, I would say, probably came to all 6. So very well attended. And again, I think it's a testament that people want to stay informed and people want to continue to celebrate the good things we're doing. So just want to let you know that I did do those, and I think they're important. It was a commitment that I made after I had done my one-on-ones with people, that this is something that I would do each semester, and so I'll continue to do that. We also have been having some Stevens Point expansion committee meetings, which would be the group that's looking at the potential possibility of that building in Stevens Point to be able to do some welding and all those other associated programs. So we're hoping next month that we'll give you a report on that. We've had about 3 different meetings. I can tell you we have secured some funding. We definitely have not gone out blazing yet because we want to make sure that the land in which the donation is, that we could actually build on that land. So we want to kind of make sure that we are covering all of our bases before we would start asking a lot of companies for money. But I'm very pleased with where we're at. Our champions have been wonderful. The city has been wonderful working with us, so that's a little teaser for January, so we'll share some information. And in closing, I would just want to say the same thing. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. It's hard to believe that we're, the graduation is done now, so now we're geared up towards winter. I know the last report that I heard, we are slightly up from where we were last year. So again, life is good at Midstate, so Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Chuck, finance report?
Yeah, the committee met earlier. After the call to order, we did our open meeting certification, approved minutes from last month. And as I indicated before, we reviewed the consent agenda items and all the questions were addressed. Rob gave us the treasurer's report, and I'll just do some quick highlights before we move on to the next item. We have several budget modifications, but a lot of it is just shifting from one fund to another. So the bottom line impact is to the fund balance is only $8,750. I'm sure you all had the same question that I did. On Fund 7, you see an item for security director. It was put into the wrong fund before and it's being corrected now. And my question was, why would that be in Fund 7? And Rob indicated it's because the security director position is being covered by student fees. Obviously, it's a student safety issue, so it's being covered by student fees, and that goes under Fund 7. The next page, page 22, shows the current budget as adjusted with the tweaks from the prior page. Again, just mostly shifting among funds, increase of $240,000 in revenue, increase in $226,000 in expenses in Fund 1, both those. But the overall net for all funds increase in the fund balance of $8,750 for the budget. Going on to the next page would be 23, I think. Shows the current actuals for fiscal year 2020. We've had, for year to date, revenues exceed expenditures by $8.1 million. That's because we got a lot of the tax revenue already. That's a big chunk of money, and student fees have come in, state aids and grants. So we're ahead of our expenditures so far this year, but that will catch up over time. For November, the expenditures exceeded revenue by $1.5 million, so we chewed down our fund balance a little bit there. The interesting thing to point out month after month is the current expenditures, which is where we have the most control. Rob indicated that we've spent 37% of the budget, but we've already gone through 42% of the year, so we're a little bit ahead of budget in that respect. And then finally, the last page shows the balance sheet, and our cash and investment balance is up about $1.5 million from last year at this time. We're at $17.6 million between those two accounts, which represents 62% of the monthly maximum balance in February. Any questions on the finance treasurer's report? Okay, hearing none. The next item on our agenda was the review of the audited financial statements. As you recall, last month the audit information was not available to us. We postponed it till this month. And Dave from the accounting firm of Clifton Larson Allen was at our meeting and gave us a presentation, went over in significant detail. Rob, do you want to have him come forward, and you want to say anything about
We got a hot seat up here for you.
Dave, I'm sorry, could you just say your last name again for us? Mako, thank you.
Okay, like you indicated, first off, I do apologize last month of not being able to get to the meeting. It was a little bit of a hiccup on our side as we joined forces with Clifton Larson Allen, going through some of the processes and growing pains of the first year, so we do apologize for that. As you heard, we did spend probably about a half hour to 45 minutes walking through the report in detail. Just gonna hit the highlights to the board. The financial statements did issue an unmodified opinion. That is a clean opinion, the best opinion you can receive on your financial statements. The financial statements really went from the actual, 2019 to 2018 were very comparable. From a budgetary perspective, all your operating statements hit the budget. Nothing unusual really occurred from the financial report. The last part about it is, in addition to the financial report, we do review the controls over the financial results of or financial policies of the district. We also look at compliance with laws and regulations at the district level. And we also look at internal controls and compliance at the federal and state grant level. So Mid-State does receive both federal and state financial assistance. As a result, we do provide or present a single audit report. So you receive about $8 million of federal dollars. Some of that is student financial aid that goes to offset the tuition that is charged. You also receive about $16 million of state dollars. We're pleased to indicate that we had no findings on any of the programs, either related to the compliance or internal controls. So from our perspective, the audit went very well as we communicated with the Finance Committee. There were no exceptions. The staff here at the district were very well and completely audited. It is a great undertaking of time by the district to prepare for us to come in. Everyone was prepared as we completed the audit. With that, I'll entertain any questions anyone may have.
Dave, I'd like if you would clarify for the entire board a little bit of the hiccup last month was related to the merger of your firm with another one. But it was also that there was a concern about change in GASB requirements regarding financial aid. And I understand that something different happened. Could you explain that? That was a part of the issue last month.
Part of the issue. So it isn't a GASB statement, but it is an OMB. OMB puts out standards related to the federal and state programs. They issued 2 revisions to student financial aid programs since they issued the original 2019 compliance supplement. So the last was issued late in September, after we had done the field work that required us to go relook at what we had done to make sure we complied with all that. So that was really one of the major hiccups, is going back and making sure that the district had complied, because there was a couple new special tests that we had to test for. So once again, all my years, the OMB had never put up 1 revision, much less 2. So it did create a little bit of a challenge for our higher ed practice within CLAs.
And so that required our staff to do some additional work to comply with those rules. But it took care of the issue from our auditing standpoint, so it wasn't a concern that we thought it might have been last month. And I want to thank our finance department for all the hoops they jumped through and all the work they did. It was outstanding effort on everyone's part. Thank you, Rob, and please pass on the thanks, the gratitude of the board.
So those of us who got excited should calm down, is what you're saying?
Yeah, just a little bit. But
One notch.
One notch, huh?
We're gonna hold Clifton Larson Allen to the commitment of improving next year.
We started acknowledge that we've been a little bit of hiccups.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And then we have some informational items to share. First of all, also audit related, the foundation audit was clean and everything was good. I think there's still some follow-up work that needs to get done on behalf of the, I'm sorry?
I think we should have the board vote to approve.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. Yeah, we should have a motion to accept the audit financial statements.
Also move.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Robert Beaver?
Yes.
Betty Grisky Mallett?
Yes.
Kristen Krass?
Yes.
Richard Burden?
Yes.
Linnea Miller?
Yes.
Gordon Shallow?
Yes.
Carl Spargo?
Yes. Thank you, Rob. The foundation audit was completed and also clean, very good results. They still have some follow-up to do for the auditors still have some follow-up work to do for the foundation, specifically getting the 990 form completed. Because when we go out soliciting funds, folks want to see what is the progress that we've made in the foundation, and the 990 is a good way to show that. So there's some follow-up work that needs to get done, but they're promising to have that done for the foundation's January meeting. We also had an update on the Thanksgiving break facilities project. Matt was unavailable for the meeting, so Rob gave us a summary of that. The week leading up to the Thanksgiving break and the holiday week itself was very busy again this year. Several projects were coordinated and executed in a very short period of time. Specifically, the final phase of the I-120 room epoxy flooring application, a complete incoming electrical service changeout for that same building, and the front desk modifications that you see on the way out, making it handicapped accessible, were done, as well as a water pipe leak was repaired during the shortened week. In summary, the projects completed over the Thanksgiving break included 5 different contractors and a combination of mid-state faculty and staff. All of these worked in close coordination and planning leading up to and during the project execution to accomplish a large volume of work in a very short period of time. The patience and understanding of the staff was also instrumental to the successful project completion. So our gratitude to the facility staff for getting that work done in a very short period of time. I think that completes the informational items and our report.
Thanks, Chuck. Academic and Student Services Committee, Betty?
Academics and Student Services Committee met earlier tonight. We did not have any items other than informational items, nothing under the consent agendas, but our informational items were regarding the faculty teaching and learning days. Dr. Deb Stencil reported that on November 25th and 26th, faculty participated in the Faculty Teaching and Learning Days. The theme for these 2 days was Through the Woods with Assessment, where faculty received professional development focused on assessment of student learning, using data with the Blackboard reports. And the third item was regarding real colors, a personality assessment based on 4 colors to improve understanding and communication. Faculty also had time to update their assessment tracking forms and team action plan and participate in team meetings. Curriculum and assessment support were available on both days. The evaluations returned or completed by faculty were very positive. And our second item was the new apprenticeship programs. This is also Dr. Deb Stencil reporting that in fall 2019, Midstate launched 4 new apprenticeship programs: the machinist, the electrical and instrumentation, the arborist, and the construction electrician with IBEW and NECA. Enrollment for these new programs is as follows. For the arborist program, 9 students currently serving the first year of a 3-year program. For the construction electrician, the 48 students currently serving years 1 through 3 of the 5-year program. The electrical and instrumentation technician, 8 students currently serving in years 1 and 2 of a 3.5 program. And the machinist, 11 students currently serving years 1 and 2 of a 3-year program. And Dr. Deb explained that students are coming to complete this program from other districts. And with the additional cohorts, we will begin to serve all years of the machinist program in 2021, 2020, 2021, and all years of the other three programs in 21, 22. These apprenticeship programs were started to meet the needs of the area employers. Enrollment in these programs is positive, reflecting Mid-State's strong reputation in apprenticeship. And Kristen can attribute to that. She said it's been very helpful to her company. Anything else?
I'm very excited that we're starting to do more apprenticeships in the manufacturing field.
And I don't know if you have
That's
this.
we got that information last month that,
Yes, the overall apprenticeship, yes, there was
Right.
that folded.
and they had the new ones in there.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
okay,
But I
thank
think
you.
this was just a report out, just to show that when we're making decisions as to what programs to start, we really want to be able to come back and let you know that I think it was a good decision, because you can tell the number of students that came in. It definitely was a
Did you say
the right
76?
That's good, I was just
Yep,
asking to make
yep.
sure I had the same thing.
Yep, nope,
In total, 76 students in beginning
Okay.
classes.
That's good, appreciate it.
And our third informational item was with Dr. Mandy Lang, and she reported on the 2019 K-12 dashboard update. I believe everybody has this updated dashboard is at your seat. We wanted to make you aware of an update to the dual credit information in the dashboard. Previously distributed dashboards included dual credits from within the district that were taken through Midstate or through other technical colleges. The final number of dual credits granted was 4,673, and the final value of those dual credits was 637,865. Both still exceeded our goal for the year. And that, if anybody doesn't have questions, Mandy is here.
That's outstanding.
That's what we thought. And that concludes our meeting.
Okay. Human Resources and External Relations. Gordon's taking over, Justin is absent.
Shame on Justin.
Lucky for you.
Our group, Human Resources and Internal Relations Committee, met, and we approved our committee meetings, and then we jumped right into informational items, and we had two. Karen brought in what Shelley briefly described or brought up, and that is the retiree meeting, and you all should have some photos. The recap was the fact that last year was our first year, this is our second. We had about the same amount of attendees, and being that it's the first few years, that's always a good sign that we get it at least even, and it can grow. And part of that, everybody had a good time. They said they visited, things were good. They gave away some continuing education passes and some beautiful poinsettias as gifts. I think that was pretty much it. Anything else, Karen, on that? Or? Nope. Thank you. And then Bobby was so kind to give us a report on workforce development contracts and proposals. And I do have that here somewhere. There we are. That would be page or exhibit M, if you want to take a look at it. There were two items, and one was electrical blueprint reading, where there are 30 estimated served with a contract amount of $3,200. And one that I thought was very interesting was for the Rome location of culinary training, and I think all of it is at Sand Valley for a contract amount of $53,607. And then we had a little input as to November contract training proposals, and you can see those noted as 12,110. And from there, we closed.
Any questions? If not, committee of the whole, obviously, our executive director from the Board Association is ill, so she didn't make it tonight. So we'll go right to the discussion, possible action I think Brad's up, you're gonna introduce that?
Absolutely. So the Connected Experience is something that had been approved just prior to me coming on board. And we have completed the Connected Experience, which is an information technology plan. How we were going to make sure that from a technology standpoint, that we were going to be state of the art for the future. So I had asked Brad to put together just a few informational items to share with you. What, did we spend? If you remember, it was 4.9 million. Is that correct, Brad? So what did we do with that 4.9 million to make sure we're prepared for the future? So, Brad.
All right, well, thank you for the opportunity to provide an update on the completion of Connected Experience. First of all, some of you may be new to the Connected Experience. I'm sure you've heard it over the last couple of years, but I just want to just go back in time just a little bit and just reiterate that the Connected Experience began in the fall of 2016 for planning. It was a strategic information technology plan that Mid-State would begin in fiscal year 2018 or 2017 calendar year. That included 3 levels, and you may have seen this illustration of the pyramid in the past. If you look at the Connected Experience from a pyramid perspective, you have your foundational level at the bottom, followed by a middleware or licensing level, and then followed by the end user experience, which is at the top. So that's really what most individuals see as far as the Connected Experience goes. The goal of the Connected Experience was to provide a favorable common classroom environment for students and faculty. It was related to the classroom technology. It also included bringing more instruction to our campuses through technology, use of telepresence and so forth. Additionally, the needed foundational components, which I already described a little bit in that pyramid, were needed to provide this environment. They were installed, which positioned Mid-State well related to technology for the next 5 years once we started that. Total cost, as Shelley mentioned, for the project was $4.9 million. As you may recall, we committed minimally $900,000 each year for the fiscal years 18 through fiscal year 22, and the remainder of $400,000 was came up with through fiscal year 17, as well as a little bit each year for little odds and ends that surfaced. The original classroom technology for the end user experience was to be the Cisco Spark boards, which many of you may have heard in the beginning of this. The pilot for this was started in late summer, early fall of 2017. After receiving feedback from faculty and others on the Cisco Spark board, it was determined in the spring of 2018 that a new direction for classroom technology was needed. Input was solicited from faculty, demonstrations on various technologies were given, and a new direction in the classroom technology was chosen, and that we went with the Sign app. I am pleased to announce this evening that we finished installation of the Connected Experience in the fall of 2019. Some of you may be wondering what accomplishments or what items were installed when it comes to 4.9 million. If we start out with that foundational layer, again, that bottom level that everything else is built upon for the Connected Experience, we installed 2 Cisco SANs, which is storage area network, which essentially is where all our data is stored. We installed 6 virtual servers created with this, 53 switches in our closets throughout all the campuses. This is replacement of older ones, not just entirely complete replacement. These are just replacement of the old ones. We installed a Cisco core router, directing traffic and everything for our campuses and the internet. 172 access points. That really gave us that complete wireless coverage for our whole campus. 2 Cisco wireless controllers to, again, manage and maintain those access points. Cisco video recording servers. That is for our telepresence, so we have the classes and the rooms and they're recorded. This is part of that. And then also a Cisco firewall, which is what keeps the outside from coming inside. That's a layer of protection. Then if we work our way up the pyramid to that middleware or that software, we installed Cisco WebEx throughout Mid-State. That is our software that allows us to basically, it's another piece of software that allows us for meetings and scheduling meetings with students outside of Mid-State even, as well as internal, so it's a source of meetings and messaging, things like that. We upgraded our call managers, that's our telephone systems that would interact with telepresence. We installed 3 Cisco video gateway units. That is how all these telepresence units talk to one another and fire up and start in the classroom when they're supposed to. We installed a cloud-based video storage, so once we record these meetings and classes, they have to have a place to go to. So we created that in the cloud, as well as multiple configurations were made for the software and the technology, including things like single sign-on, so that you use one username and password for signing into the applications. And then probably the piece that users see, or that they do see more often than not, the ones I just mentioned, that's what people notice when things don't work. What I notice now is when people go into the room and they see, through monitors and, instructor workstations and things like that. We installed 21 Cisco Spark boards, and again, I mentioned that we changed direction. So know that these Spark boards were repurposed in conferencing and other collaboration purposes, so they're not going to waste. We installed 18 telepresence and sign-app-enabled gold standard rooms. 2 of those rooms were also sign-app core classrooms. So essentially what that is not only did we have the telepresence that allows you to do the video collaboration and meetings and things like that in the classroom, but we also installed the sign-app technology, which was that new direction that we chose as part of the connected experience. And once we had one room completely configured, tested, approved by faculty and other members, we call that our gold standard. And that's what we use to replicate it out to the other classrooms and campuses, so that no matter which room you're going into, they all were the same, so you have that same common experience. We installed 42 sign-app enabled classrooms that included sound reinforcement, document cameras, touchscreen desk monitors, and touchscreen wall monitors. So if you go down the hallways here, and all of Stevens Point was completed, all of Marshfield was completed, all of Adams was completed. We have a large percentage here at Wisconsin Rapids completed as part of this. We also did 3 sign-app and sign-app core innovative classrooms. This is, the closest one is probably right down here, L124. It allows the instructor to be able to share content with the students. There's monitors at each of these innovative classroom pod areas. It also allows the students to share content with other pods in the room as well as the instructor. So it's kind of for that innovative classroom experience. Then we also installed Cisco InformaCast for safety. That's a product that we are currently working on configuring and deploying throughout mid-state. It's installed, but we're just kind of tweaking it. That's going to allow us to better use our telephone system for emergency purposes. And lastly, we will continue to install sign-apps and remodel remaining classrooms in upcoming years through the capital budget process. Before I go too far, or before I ask for questions, I want to thank people like Bill Montague from IT, as well as other IT folks like Mihai and Chris Slaby, and really the whole desktop team and group, as well as finance for helping us with the financial aspects of it. And
As long as he's got the money.
So, real team experience, collaboration effort. So I want to make sure I give credit to those folks as well.
I know your last item you talked about was safety, and with all the problems going on with the high schools and wherever, how good is our safety? Is that a priority for us?
It definitely is a priority, and Brad, actually, him and one of his team members just participated in some recent training, right, Brad? Was that what you and Chris had gone? Was that part of safety?
That was more cybersecurity safety.
Yes, exactly. So I would say, if you, please answer that question, Brad, if you would, but I feel that we are being very proactive.
I can take it.
And, okay, if you want to. Okay.
I think that you're aware we hired our second security director, so that gives us a full-time plus presence there. They are working on their report for Shelley, kind of their recommendations of how we move forward, what they found to be ways that we can increase our security. And some of them are, we met this today, Brad, and Rob and I and some others, and some of them are really very little cost, very little cost. And I think Matt had planned on getting some of them done today. So we move right along. And I think the hiring of our second security director has really been helpful in that.
It was good to see them.
More than one part-time person can handle.
Right. It was good to see their presence yesterday. I mean, if anything could happen, it could have been at an event like the graduation yesterday, and it's good to have them here. It was good to have them
I think
here.
it's that security, that on-site, and then there's that whole cybersecurity, the IT component as well. And, we have to be as proactive as we can with all of those. But I feel confident, I really do, Board, that I think we're doing what we can do. I think that you never can totally take out the risk, but you try to minimize it the best you can, and you make sure that if there would be something that would occur, that, again, we would minimize any of the issues that would come from that. So, but know that we definitely, as we hear the active shooters, things that are happening, I mean, we're all paying attention to that and being proactive, so.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Chuck's got a question.
Yeah,
Trustee Lloyd, questions?
yeah, 4.5 million was the major chunk that was financed by the firm over that 5-year period, correct?
Correct.
That's a significant investment. Is there parts of this that will live beyond the 5-year window so that I'm hoping we don't have
Another 4.5.
in 2023 or whatever the 5-year window runs out? I'm hoping that smaller upgrades can be done to keep on the cutting edge.
Yep. No, that's a great question. Yes, I would say 100% of what we put in, we fully anticipate using more a useful life of the traditional 5 years. Most of our stuff, the switches, telepresence units and everything goes 7, 8, 9 years.
Okay.
And one of the reasons too that we chose Synap was one of their sales thing when they presented this to Midstate was that their technology is something that should not be, 5, 6, 7 years and be obsolete. They have a model where they are able to upgrade the
Components.
devices that we got to
Okay.
keep them longer lasting.
Good.
So that kind of helps with that. Certainly we do have switches and that when we come off of this 5-year plan, that we'll need to be, budgeting for, but it won't be the 4.5 because that was a large project. I'd rather do a little bit each year.
Yeah, good.
Okay, any other questions?
Other reasons.
Excuse me, any other questions? If not, that concludes the meeting.